about it, please do that. And we'll make sure that whenever your part comes up, we stop recording and start it again for the next person. But that's basically it. I think I have spoken enough, and I'm hoping the timer is not going to ding me on time. I need to call up the person who is a returning Toastmaster, a person who has been, who was a charter member and was a great vice president of education himself. That person is on screen with me. Kashif, welcome, and welcome back to Toastmasters as the Toastmaster of the day. Please do tell us how you want to help us relax.
Thank you, Sai. Good evening, everyone. And today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic. And the topic for today is destiny and the art of relaxing. Now, many of you may be curious that what is the relationship between destiny and relaxing. If you are, then please stay tuned because it will become clear to you soon enough. Let me start by telling you a story. And this story is from way back when I was in class 5th. Right now, I don't remember too many stories from my early childhood, and I'm sure that even you guys don't remember too much from that time. But this one I remember very clearly. And I remember it very clearly because it changed the course of my life. What happened was that when I was in class 5th, I was terrible. I was absolutely terrible in mathematics, and I was going downhill. I was literally afraid of the subject, so much so that when the math class would come, I would go and hide on the last bench, and afraid that God forbid the teacher asks me any question. And I was also afraid that I would fail, and I was almost there. I was almost on the brink of failing. In the final exams, I got 40 marks, which is what you need to pass. But then something happened. Right, it was almost like a miracle. And I my grades improved significantly. It was almost like a transformation. And I started enjoying maths, and in fact, it became my favorite subject. My grades went from 40 in the final exam of class 5th to 94 in the next exams. And the confidence that I got, that rubbed off on the other subjects. Overall, overall on all the subjects, in fact, I improved noticeably, and overall my rank in the class also improved from almost like 30 in a class of 50 students to 3, and then to second in the next exam. So many of you must be wondering that how did this miracle happen, right? And it wasn't that I started working very hard. That was definitely not the case. What happened was that I found a good teacher. And that is the thing about good teachers. It's very difficult to find them, but it was my good luck that there was this guy who was a friend of my father's, and he had recently started teaching a very small group of students. And so my father asked me to go and meet him, and I did. And it was almost instantly. Within the first few classes, I started getting the hang of it, and then maths became very easy for me. I didn't really have to work hard to improve. Right now, this is an interesting story. Won't you all agree that this is an interesting story? But it's not a very exciting story, right? Because uh, the ingredients of an exciting story are that, I was bad, and then I worked hard, I perspired, I persevered, and I gave it my all. And then, I became better, I became good. But in this story, what happens is that I was bad, I did nothing, and I became good. Um, and it is not something that I did, rather, it is something which happened to me. and you can call it luck, or what I prefer to call it, and no points for guessing, is destiny. And I can assure you that this is not a one-off story. There are many such stories in my life, and if you look within your life, I can assure you that you will find stories such as this. There are stories, but obviously we don't tell those stories, for the simple reason that these stories are not very exciting, right? Exciting stories, like I said, they have different ingredients. So um, now I want to ask you one thing, that there is a lesson in this story, and what is the lesson? Would anyone like to unmute themselves and guess, like, what is the lesson from this story?
When the student is ready, the teacher arrives.
That's a good one, Sai. But that is not what I was looking for. Anyone else? Well, let me tell you that the lesson is that, and this lesson I didn't really learn at that point of time when I was in class fifth. Rather, I learned it very late in my life. And the lesson is that we are not as much in control of our life as we believe we are, right? We have what is referred to as illusion of control. So let me take a pause here now, and before we continue the story, let me introduce everyone to the tag team. Now the tag team is composed of timer, a counter, and the grammarian, and these are the role players who would help me today to conduct this meeting in a smooth and seamless fashion. We are not going to leave that to destiny. And so with that, I would like to introduce the timer for today, who is Ashish, Toastmaster Ashish. And when I asked him whether he believes in destiny, he said that I don't believe in destiny, as there is uncertainty and unpredictability. I like certainty in life, which can only be achieved with hard work. Over to you, Ashish.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. As timer, I will time the formal speeches, table topics, and the evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using green, yellow, and red colors, which you can see on your screens. For example, for prepared speeches, if time limit is 4 to 6 minutes, at 4 minute you can see green color on your screen, at 5th minute you can see yellow color, and at 6th minute you can see red color. For table topic speakers, you should limit your speech till 2 minutes. At 1 minute, you can see green color on your screen. At 1.5 minutes, you can see yellow color. And at 2 minutes, you can see red color. Once called upon by Mr. Toastmaster, I will share my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashish. The next role player is our counter Sai. Now, when I asked Sai the same question, he had pretty much the same response, although a little more interestingly worded. So Sai said that I don't believe in destiny. My personal belief is that if there's a larger force at play which is planning my destiny, this implies that it has picked a winner already. Surely something which sets the course of billions of lives wouldn't waste its time picking Elon Musk as the winner. Sai doesn't think Elon Musk is a winner. Sai, please go ahead and introduce your role.
Yes. The job of the R counter is to note words, sounds, or words and sounds that are used as crutch fillers by anyone who speaks today. That includes prepared speeches, table topics, everything. During the meeting, I will be listening for overused words, trite words, including and, well, but, so, and any of those other crutch words that people use to fill in their sentences, to complete their sentences. I will listen for filler sounds, including and I will note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase. For example, I just did that. If people do that, I'll be reporting that as well. At the end of the meeting, my job will be to report the number of times each speaker made such delivery errors and help them keep track of it and improve in the future. Back to you, Toastmaster today.
Thank you, Sai. The next role player is grammarian, Qasim. And when I asked Qasim the same question, he said that having been born a human being is superlative destiny. Accepting one's presence as it is in the larger design of the creator's creation itself is a bliss. Celebrate life as it unfolds. One's desires get manifested in accordance with the larger design. Very interesting. Please go ahead, Qasim, and introduce your role.
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Friends, on the onset, I would like to thank you, all of you, and I feel really happy to be amongst you. Today, I am the grammarian for the day, and my job is to listen to all the speakers and note down the good use of grammar and the not so good use of grammar. And I have the word of the day for you, and it is provoke, meaning to bring about a reaction. Example, the speaker with his rhetoric could provoke the audience into deep contemplation. Another example, only a leader who walks his talks can provoke his team into intense action. The idiom for the day is burn the midnight oil. Meaning is put in a lot of effort. Example, one may not burn the midnight oil to scale up in public speaking. Just attend meetings regularly and one is done. I would urge all the speakers to kindly use the day word of the day and the idiom of the day in their speeches. When called upon, I shall submit my report to the TMOD. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Qasim. Now let us continue our story. So now coming to the second part of the story, we talked about destiny. Now let me talk a little bit about the art of relaxing, right? And I call it the art of relaxing because relaxing is not easy, right? Relaxing, it takes hard work. Now, why do I say that relaxing takes hard work? Let me paint you guys a picture. I'm sure that many of you have seen this picture where a man and his dog, they are sitting in a very lovely, beautiful place, and they're surrounded by nature, trees, lakes, mountains, and there are these thought bubbles, right, for both the man and the dog. And for man, there are many thought bubbles because he's thinking about a lot of things. He's thinking about all the mundanities of life, about his job, about his car, house, stress, all those things. Whereas for the dog, there is only one thought bubble which is there, and no points for guessing. The dog is in the moment and he's thinking about a lovely place this is, right? So that this very nicely captures that, human beings, as human beings, I think we find it very difficult to relax. um, and uh, and maybe, we are hardwired in that way. But now let me ask all of you to relax for a moment. So I want you to imagine what it would be like to totally and completely relax, right? We are all carrying so much baggage, which consists of all the stress and the worries about the past, the present, the future of our lives. And that baggage is really holding us back, right? So I want you to imagine what it would be like to drop that baggage for a moment, right? Just for a moment, let us drop it, let us put it down, and try to imagine what life would be living in the moment. And then, if you can, imagine what it would be like to live in that state for your life. So how many people, let us take maybe a few seconds and try to drop all our burdens. Now, how many people find it difficult to do that? Was it easy? That's exactly right. Even I have to admit that even I found it very, very difficult to relax. Um, when I was a child, there was always so much to do, and there was so much to do that there was very little time for relaxation, and that bad habit carried over into adulthood as well. And after I graduated and started working, ev- even then, whatever free time I had, I tried to fill that free time with more productive things. Right, I always was doing something like reading a book or um, going to the gym or whatever, like some productive thing. But again, something happened which changed all of that, and taught me the importance of relaxation. Right, so what really happened was that I started meditating. And initially, I used to sit down in a quiet place and introspect, right? And when you do that, then there's a lot of thoughts which are going around in your head, and there's a lot of noise from those thoughts. But gradually, as I went deeper, and as my meditation practice matured, uh, what happened was that the thoughts and the noise from those thoughts, they subsided, and what remained was only silence, and the peace and the calm which comes from that silence. It was only then that I realized or really understood the poetry of Rumi when he says that silence is the language of God, and all else is poor translation. Right, and it also became clear to me that this peace which I'm experiencing, the peace of mind, that is equally important, if not more important, than all of the other things in life, like money and success and all of it. And it was then that I was able to connect this with the first story which I talked about, and the lesson of which was the illusion of control that we have. And the point which I'm trying to make is that if we don't have control over our life, if we really don't have full control of our life, then why do we worry so much, right? Why can't we relax? Now, I know that what Sai and Ashish are thinking. They are thinking that we can work hard, right? Life, we may not be fully in control of our life, but there are things which we can definitely do. We are in control of a large part of our life, right? And we can work hard and we can make things happen. And I don't disagree with that, because even in my life, if I take a lesson from my story, I was definitely improved in mathematics, but if I did not work hard, I may have done well in my class, but I certainly wouldn't have got selected in IIT. So by all means, I would say that do your work hard, but after working hard, relax. And this is exactly what Krishna says to Arjun in Gita. And he says that do your work and leave the results to me. Right? And the result is what we are worried about. And result is what is not in our control. What is in our control is to do the work. So I would urge all of us to do the work, but then after doing the work, really let us relax. Okay. So with that, we will now come to the most important part of today's meeting, which is the prepared speeches section. And the first speaker for today is Sunaiva. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
That's Suniva.
Suniva. Okay. And I asked Suniva about her thoughts on relaxing. And she said that I de-stress my life by traveling, exercising, and eating, especially Pani Puri. Suniva, life lessons with Pani Puri. Life lessons with Pani Puri, Suniva.
Kashif, 1 second. You need to ask the evaluator to explain the evaluation criteria.
I'm really sorry. The evaluator. Sorry.
Saurabh has been spotlighted.
Yeah.
Can you please read the
Yeah,
evaluation?
sure. So Suniva will be performing her L1 P2 speech and with a very interesting title, which is my favorite as well. I think most of you. So the purpose of her speech is to learn learn and review the basic methods of writing a speech with a defined purpose, and to present a speech, well-organized speech on any topic. The speech timing will be 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster today.
Suniva. Life lessons with Pani Puri. Life lessons with Pani Puri. Suniva.
A few days ago,
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'll just share my screen. I'm a timer. Could you please confirm that you can share my see my screen or not?
I can see your screen.
Okay, all the best.
A few days ago, as I indulged in a plateful of pani puri, relishing each bite, my eyes followed the server's hand, delicately piercing the crispy, crunchy orb, stuffing it with an enigmatic filling of smashed potatoes, chickpeas, and spices, and baptizing it with a tangy elixir of mint and coriander. Sorry, I can't see this. It's not changing. Sorry. I'm so sorry. So I found myself in a thought-provoking moment about the profound philosophy hidden beneath this delightful treat. Thank you, Toastmasters, and good evening to all of you. Today, I present to you a topic that might raise few eyebrows: life lessons with Pani Puri. Despite being considered the most questionable food on the streets, it's a guilty pleasure for many. Now, you would be wondering, why would someone choose such a seemingly frivolous subject for a speech? Well, Pani Puri is a happy place for me. It lightens the gloomiest of my days. So, let me unravel the hidden layers of wisdom beneath this spicy delight. First and foremost, it is a tiny globe of resilience. It faces a monsoon of spiced up fluid, a potential drowning situation. Yet, it holds its ground and stands strong with an unwavering composure, defying the laws of physics. If the Puris can withstand such a deluge, surely we can weather life's storms with a fraction of their grace. It's a reminder that resilience often comes in the smallest of packages. Born in the beautiful land of Orissa, the Puris were actually an eye-opener for me. Oh, they were huge in size. The only way to conquer it was to open your mouth large enough to fit the entire thing in one glorious bite. So, take a deep breath, channel your inner snake, or maybe a hungry hippo, and go for it. Life often calls us to embrace its grandeur with open arms. Just like that, we have to stretch our limits to savor the full flavor, my friends. Pani Puri, in its oversized glory, gives us a lesson in adaptability. Next, I found myself burning the midnight oil for my exams in the vibrant city of Chennai, where Pani Puri was a savior. It took on a fiery persona, an explosion of green chilies chopped in the stuffing, the fury element that separates the Pani Puri lovers with the faint-hearted. Despite the runny nose and tears threatening to steal the spotlight, there is an undesirable urge to keep going. So you forge ahead and, fueled with determination, perhaps a slight hint of insanity, life too throws spicy challenges at us that makes our eyes well up. Yet we keep going and soldier on and conquer its and become victorious. It's a testament to determination, a quality we all need to overcome hard times. Venturing further, my pursuit of knowledge led me to Ahmedabad. To my astonishment, not one, but not two, but an entire ensemble of flavorful waters, from the refreshing lemon to the quirky garlic, the soothing jeera, the earthy hing, and the cooling curd. Life serves us with a multitude of opportunities, and we must welcome them with the diversity of encounters that come our way. By doing so, we not only broaden our horizon, but also enrich our journey. Finally, I found my home in the bustling cities of Mumbai, where Pani Puri took a harmonious balance of sweet and sour, tangy and spicy. Each ingredient contributes to a flavor symphony, a masterclass in teamwork. It's a reminder that success often comes with a harmonious collaboration. In summary, life like Pani Puri teaches us to navigate through with resilience, to embrace with an open arms, to relish the diversity of experience it offers, and to find balance amidst its myriad flavors. In a world filled with complexities, it's a reminder that we can find joy and wisdom in the simplest of things. Thank you.
Thank you, Suniva. As a fan of Pani Puri myself, I could totally relate to that speech. Moving on, the next speaker is Nidhi. And Nidhi gave me a very long introduction, so I'm going to shorten it a little bit in the interest of time. Nidhi she loves to binge watch Netflix. She's a Mumbaikar software engineer based in Pune, reluctantly, but loves Mumbai more. And she's also a student at heart, firmly believes that we must keep learning and growing every day of our lives. And through Toastmasters, she hopes to strengthen her speaking skills. So we welcome her. And before I hand it over to her, I would like her evaluator to please read out the evaluation guidelines.
Thank you, TMOD of the day. Today, Toastmaster Nidhi is attempting visionary communication pathways level L2P4. Timer to note, it is 5 to 7 minutes. And the purpose is talking about the mentoring program. Just to express her experience of being a protege and being mentored. So I'm eager to be a part of the ripples is going to provoke this evening. Over to you, TMOD of the day.
Nidhi, ripple makers, Nidhi.
Imagine walking to a pond and throwing a stone in it. You will find that initially the stone makes a splash, and very soon it starts causing a ripple on the layer of water. And slowly but steadily, this ripple begins to spread. Very good evening, TMOD fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, I'm going to talk about a few ripple makers in our life, which are also known as the mentors. Because true mentors are like those stones which create a multiple positive impacts in our life, making us go way beyond ourselves, creating a difference in a world of approach, the way we think, live, and react. Let me tell you about the first and the most profound ripple maker in my life, which is my mother. Mothers are universally recognized as everyone's first mentors for several compelling reasons. After all, these are the primary caregivers intimately involved in our earliest experiences and development. Like every other mother, my mom taught me the basic stuff on how to read, eat, write. But apart from all of this, she also taught the extraordinary power, the power of forgiveness. Like every other mother, she taught me that it's easy to extend kindness and care to those who treat us well. But true strength measure lies in the ability to forgive those who have caused us pain or behave poorly with us. Developing the courage to forgive is a remarkable quality that my mother imparted to me. It's a lesson that extends beyond the everyday and touches the very core of our humanity, which makes continue to shape my journey even today. The second ripple maker of my life was my cousin. At 17, he taught me how to drive a car. And once I had mastered the skill, I asked him to remove this L sticker, thinking it was uncool. He insisted I keep it for few months more. Expressing the embarrassment, I explained the sticker made me feel like a noob or newbie. He then asked me what L stood for. I said L stands for learning. So he explained that learning is crucial, not just in driving, but in everything. According to him, you should always be in a learning mode to become a better version of yourself. Those words truly stayed with me over the time and even the now. My third mentor, then my life-changing mentor, was my college professor. There was one challenging group assignment. Upon returning from a vacation, I found myself paired with these two weird characters of my class. The one who used to barely passes the exam, and other has some negative issues of his character. Her response uncomfortably with the pairing, I approached my professors for a group change. Her response offered a profound life lessons. In life, you have to play the cards you're dealt. It's not always the kings or the aces. Sometimes you might have to get a joker. Deal with it, focus on the positives, and make the most of the situation rather than complaining. This experience has highlighted the most important adapting to the challenges, which helped me in finding opportunities in unexpected circumstances. My fourth mentor is my best friend. In our group of friends, at time where arguments could get heated, he taught me a valuable lesson. Instead of reacting in the heat of the moment, take a moment and think about it. Put yourself in other person's shoes. Understand their side and perspective. Maybe things won't get out of control. This advice stick to me, making me realize the power of responding rather than reacting to the situation. My final mentor was my first project manager. In the initial days of my corporate, adapting to the new environment altogether presented a challenge. Falling short of my manager's expectations, I really expressed my struggles during a feedback conversation. His responses was, Nidhi, you don't always have to be the smartest in the room. In fact, you should be surround yourself with the people who are level above you so that you can learn. It's perfectly okay to ask question. It doesn't make you sound dumb. Asking question will be a positive approach in life. It's how you grow and evolve in life. All these valuable lessons echoing to my cousins, continuous learning, reshaping the perspective, embracing the idea that asking question is a crucial part of the learning process. I would like to spend a moment reflecting on the various mentors or the ripple makers in our life so far, thanking them to learn them whatever they have imparted. By verbal or the non-verbal thanks is not just enough. What is the best way to truly thank a mentor is to carry forward the legacy and create a difference in a society. I wish you all a many years of mentoring and learning ahead. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Nidhi. That was a very captivating speech about mentors. Usually, the speeches I've heard about mentors are a little boring, but not this one. I really loved all the lessons that you talked about. And since Nidhi has completed her level 2 today, I also would like to acknowledge that. And is it customary Sai, is it customary to give a standing ovation?
In the interest of time, let's do it at the end.
Okay. Okay, so now let us move on to the next speaker. The next speaker is Bhuvi. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, and Bhuvi has been a TM Toastmaster at BKC Firefly since July 2024 and has been managing brands for last 13 years. Relaxing is very important to her because of the long days at work, and she relaxes with a leisurely morning routine which involves a mega cup of masala chai, a few Surya Namaskars in the balcony with a cool morning breeze to give her company. Now, before I hand it over to Bhuvi, I would like her evaluator to please read out the evaluation guidelines.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I'm Toastmaster Riddhi, and today I will be evaluating speech of Toastmaster Bhuvi Gupta. She is going to present her Level 1 Project 2 speech, which is writing a speech with a purpose. The purpose of this project is to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. The timing limits are 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Bhuvi, and over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Bhuvi, the tragedy of what is common. The tragedy of what is common, Bhuvi.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, Toastmasters of the Day, and the tag team. I will begin my speech by asking you all to, with a show of hands, to answer the question, how many of you have ever stayed in a hostel or a flat share? Okay, I can see some hands up, a lot of people with their cameras off, but yeah, I can see some yellow hands up. So my next question to you, how many of you then have basically, faced the situation where you have a dirty pile of laundry, you walk to the washing machine, you load up the washing machine with all your dirty clothes, you open the cupboard, take out some laundry detergent, but there is no laundry detergent. Anybody? Any show of hands with that mishap? Okay, yes, I can see one hand up. Okay, so another situation. How about, you have a long day in university or at work, and you're totally stressed, coming back home very late, thinking about the next day, and you basically you're looking forward to at least having a meal before you can sleep. You open the cupboard to get a plate, but there is no utensil. Okay, Sai has experienced all of them. I think the rest of you had relatively well-behaved flatmates and hostel mates, but I'm sure some of these, through either fellow friends, you might have heard of. Now, some different kind of questions. How many of you have basically seen pictures in the news of a snowless Gulmarg? Gulmarg is the skiing destination for India, and this year there has been no snow in Gulmarg, right? Then, lots of hands up, right? How many of us, basically all of us, see the conflicting news year on year in May, where in Kerala there are floods, people are dying, and in the north, it is so hot, and therefore people are dying. So, ironically, opposite oxymoronic issues, but people are passing away. The answer is what economists basically call the tragedy of the commons. Now, tragedy of the commons is a concept that was basically shared by Aristotle millennia ago, and it centers around what he said: that which is common to the greatest number has the least care bestowed on it, right? That which is common to the greatest number has the least care bestowed upon it. And there are lots of things like that, right? For example, a public park, rivers, in a hostel or a flat share, the kitchen, the washing machine. When there are a lot of people who are responsible or who can stake ownership on an item, the responsibility goes. And this is a very interesting concept, because when you don't have ownership, then there is no incentive to take care of something. You have no ownership, you have access to a public good, but there is no incentive to take care of it, and you still get the benefit out of it. As a result of which, the public good is there, you use it, but you don't care for it. And in a private good, what happens is that if you don't take care, for example, of your clothes, then the quality of the clothes go down. But when it's a public good, even if the quality is going down, the impact on the individual is so minuscule that you can keep basically misusing it, and you will not really face the after effects of it. And that is basically why public goods, whether it is things in your hostel, or it is rivers, or it is the climate, that is basically deteriorating at such a fast pace. Now, basically, what I would like to also share is that currently in the world, there are 7.8 billion people. And the number of common goods that we have, or public natural resources that we have, is limited. But with 7.8 billion people, the more and more people misuse the public goods, the worse it is for the rest of us. And a number that I would like to share is that because of the incessant use of public goods and of Mother Earth, the Earth is becoming hotter. There is climate change, and examples of which I shared in the beginning of my speech. And a sharp number is that whenever a country becomes hotter by 1 degree Celsius, there is an impact on the per capita income. There is a decrease in the per capita income of the country by 1.5%. And the sad part, exactly like the common public good, is that everybody does not feel the decrease of the per capita income equally. So there are some people who will actually, because the average decrease in per capita income, some people's income will decrease by 10% and some people's income will decrease by 0%. So misuse can happen and impact is not felt. And therefore, what climate change is a collective action problem, right? Or it's a collective action issue in which all of us have to cooperate so that there is basically impact to the rest of us. And therefore, I implore you that my numbers and the few pictures that I painted have provoked you to think about climate change and take some action today. And it could be small, right? You could stop using single-use plastic. You could try to reuse your clothes. You could swap clothes that you don't like. You could walk instead of taking a Uber. And you don't even need to burn the midnight oil to accomplish this. Just one idea, one thing that you would do from today. Thank you.
Thank you, Nidhi. I think I learned one new thing from your speech today. I always thought that tragedy of commons was an idea which originated from an economist. I was not aware that Aristotle was the one who actually initiated this idea. So
he initiated, Aristotle actually wrote about the idea, but it is in the 1960s that one of the economists wrote an essay on overgrazing. So a lot of people actually
exactly,
give credit to the economist.
Because I learned about it in my economics class.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The next speaker is Cynthia. And when I asked Cynthia about her thoughts on relaxing, she said that relaxing is as important as doping is for an addict. It's rejuvenating and helps the balancing act. And she de-stresses by listening to her daughter play the guitar and sing along with her common favorites, or call her friends or family who she missed connecting with when she was busy with work. But before I pass it over to Cynthia, I would like her speech evaluator to please read the evaluation guidelines. You're on mute.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you, Toastmaster of the day. So Cynthia will be performing her L1 P2, and the purpose of the speech is to learn or review the basic methods of writing a speech with a defined purpose, and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Cynthia.
Toastmaster Cynthia, could you please confirm the time limit?
It's 5 to 7 minutes.
Sure, thank you.
Cynthia, the bond is important. The bond is important, Cynthia.
There is a saying that stems way back in 1829 that goes, home is where the heart is. But for us Indians, it's Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. I believe in it too. Only difference is my Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam was the society I lived in. My story begins with the end of a wonderful journey in the home I got married. Did I provoke a thought? No, it's not what you're thinking. I'm not heading for a divorce. Our apartment is getting redeveloped. As soon as the notification arrived, in November last year, all the residents were teary-eyed. We were not only carrying the garbage we accumulated over 40 years, some of which are definitely valuable, but also fond memories of the years gone by. Our bond, our togetherness, We laughed together on stupid jokes and cried together when there were deaths in our families. We celebrated festivals together and board exam successes of our children. All the grandparents would sit in the stilt every evening, watching their grandchildren play while discussing external affairs. Wait, are you thinking about politics? Again, wrong provocation. What's happening in the neighbor's house, of course. The daughter-in-laws would come after cooking their dinners and sit on the same chair to discuss how one is more repressed, depressed, and oppressed than the other. But all of them had the bond. The bond made our conversations juicy. The bond made us feel like a part of the larger community. The bond gave us a reason to meet. But alas, this had to end. And we had to do the inevitable. And burning the midnight oil, we gathered all our things and moved out lock, stock, and barrel. Phew. The new house was warm and welcoming. The owner was born and brought up in that house. So I had to literally take an oath that I would treat the house like my own. In fact, the house was just a few blocks away in a very, very busy locality. So far, so good. But what about all those evening engagements? I didn't see any of it happening. I thought I'm just getting a bit too impatient. But as I started getting familiar with the new neighborhood, I realized we have no neighbors. The neighbor on the right was an old couple with a husband in coma for 7 years and his wife over 80 years. And the one on the left are abroad with their kids. The residents were not social and didn't even exchange greetings to one another. The only friendly person I came across was the security guard. He smiled, helped with heavy baggage, and also dropped in a cue here and there about how useful he could be. And there I found my Bond, James Bond, and immediately asked him, "Can you get me a maid to cook and clean?" And he said, "Of course, why not?" And in no time, I got an efficient maid for me. And not just that, she has been well received by my mother-in-law as well. And that has strengthened my belief that the bond is indeed important. The James Bond of the society. With this, I would like to leave you a thought while I exit the limelight. And like I said in the beginning, we Indians have a slightly different definition of where our home is. Our home is where the security guard at the gate knows our name, does not let us fill in the slip and just let us pass through. The bhajiwala knows our preferences and slips in a lemon here and there saying that it's only for you. And the grocery shop owners inquire why he hasn't seen you in so long. Now, you can't tell him, of course, that you've switched to Zomato or Instamart. So, friends, my request to you is go out there and create the real bond face to face. Take efforts to make real relationships. The likes, the share, and the comments are superficial and mean nothing more than a click. Thank you. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Cynthia, for that warm and wonderful story. With this, we come to an end of the prepared speech round. Now I will hand it over to the table topics master, Rushali Desai, to take the meeting forward.
Thank you, Mr. TMOD. Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you, TMOD, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Rushali Desai, and I'm going to be the table topic master for today's session. Now, this is an impromptu speech section, totally opposite to the art of relaxation. And the purpose of this section is to let members think on their feet and speak on any given topic, the difficulty totally depending on their destiny, for a duration of 1 to 2 minutes. Please note that guests are also allowed to participate as well. And in order to be qualified to be voted as best table topic speaker, the speaker will have to speak for a minimum duration of 1 minute. And with that, a tip I would like to share is that all the speakers, I would like to tell all the speakers to sit back, enjoy, and as Toastmaster Kashif shared with us today, relax. So with that, I would like to open the floor for any volunteers. Anyone? Manoj? Sure, okay. Hi, Manoj.
Hi.
So, Toastmaster Manoj, your topic is, sometimes the most productive thing you can do is relax. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is relax. Toastmaster Manoj.
It's not sometime, I think every time one need to relax. Why worry? Life goes on at its own pace. It provokes us sometimes, does brings us challenges, but that's what makes life wonderful to live on. Because that adds those ingredients, the spices to make our life more fulfilling, more contented. Whenever an obstacle comes in our way, if we can do something about it, let's do it. Why worry? If we cannot do something about it, let's act it. Why worry? So this way of accepting life to excel is what is the mantra for leading our life in a contented way. And I strongly believe in it, and I'm practicing it in my own life. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manoj. We'll definitely have to add those ingredients to my life to make my life more vibrant. And we'll definitely embrace that mantra as well. Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster. Okay, would anyone else like to volunteer? Bhuvi, yes. All right. So your question is, Bhuvi, how do you balance exploration and relaxation when traveling? How do you balance exploration and relaxation when traveling? Toastmaster Bhuvi.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. The topic of the day is, how do you balance relaxation and exploration while traveling? Well, the answer is easy: research. So I'm one of those travelers who basically decides where she has to go and then does this insane amount of research to figure out how the time needs to be prioritized and spent. And that is basically the way of ensuring that you can balance exploration as well as relaxation when you know what the highlights are, how much time you have, and how you must allocate your time to ensure that you spend it well. The second, however, there is another point to ensure that you're able to balance exploration and relaxation is knowing yourself. So you have to understand what is your limit, how much you need relaxation and how much you enjoy exploration, and walk that tightrope, because what my relaxation need may be may be very different from somebody else's. So yeah, that's it. Planning and self-awareness. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhuvi. Well, that was very insightful, and we'll definitely take up that tip to research more. Research and planning. That's the key. All right. Anyone else? We have 2 more speakers left.
Rushali, if nobody's volunteering, you can pick them. You can pick on anyone. Everybody's a Toastmaster here.
Sure, sure. Anyone who has not taken up a role? How about
Let's get the AD involved. Let's put Aniruddha on the spotlight.
Sorry?
You have your volunteer. Voluntold, not volunteered.
Hello.
Okay,
Hi,
okay.
Rushali.
AD, okay. My bad. Okay, sure. Toastmaster Aniruddha, your topic is, it's a scenario-based question. You must give your icebreaker speech tomorrow. How would you calm your nerves down? How would you relax yourself? You must give your icebreaker speech tomorrow. How would you calm your nerves? Toastmaster Aniruddha.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rushali. When you mentioned icebreaker, I got transported back 4 years ago to one of my fondest memories at my MBA campus when I became this new president of a new club with a new environment, and it was all very new to me. And within that newness, I had to, because almost all the members were not aware about Toastmasters, and I was briefed about it. I had to take up that torch and start with a speech. And I realized there's something called an icebreaker speech. I still remember those jitters to present in front of your friends / future colleagues, future network, and you could call that anything. But to be able to stand at the middle of a stage and address people, that I think is going to jar the nerves of anyone, and anyone who is not very aware about Toastmasters and public speaking altogether. But there's one little detail in that, and that is Toastmaster realizes that it's a 100-year-old organization after all. So the basic purpose of an icebreaker speech is to just talk about yourself. If you read the objectives, it is basically think of it like introducing yourself to a group of people. So when you think like that, it's about things that you do every day. You go to a club and you meet new people. You go to a book club and you read like-minded people who read books, and you have to introduce yourself. So when you think about it like that, you realize it's very, very easy to talk about yourself. And people love talking about themselves. And I think I could see that from all the speeches and all the table topics. People love talking about themselves, and Toastmasters provides that platform. So more than the jitters, I think people should be excited for an icebreaker speech. And I hope everyone finds an opportunity to give that once in their lifetime. Over to you, Toastmaster Rushali.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Aniruddha. That was lovely. Thank you for transporting us back to your MBA college days. And we'll definitely take up that advice of just talking about yourself, and you will ease your nerves. All right. Anyone else? We have
Toastmaster,
one more.
we are running a little behind the schedule.
Okay, all right. So let's wrap it up then. All right. I'll now request the timer to please please read out the timer's report.
Thank you. So I'm going to read my timer's report. Toastmaster Suniva spoke for 6 minutes 40 seconds. Toastmaster Nidhi spoke for 6 minutes 10 seconds. Toastmaster Cynthia spoke for 5 minutes 40 seconds. And Toastmaster Bhuvi spoke for 7 minutes 27 seconds. But we have 30 seconds grace period. So all speakers are qualified. Then let's move to table topics. Toastmaster Manoj spoke for 1 minute 2 seconds. Toastmaster Bhuvi spoke for 1 minute 12 seconds, and Toastmaster Anirudh spoke for 2 minutes 2 seconds. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Ashish. Now the next section is the general evaluation section, and to take the general evaluation section forward, may I please ask the general evaluator for today, Sandhya, to please take it forward from here. Over to you, Sandhya.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. Very good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Since we are running behind time, I will be very quick. As the general evaluator, my role is to first introduce all the speech evaluators for the prepared speeches, then evaluate the meeting in general that I have been monitoring and listening to very carefully from the beginning. So without further ado, I will start calling upon the evaluators. I will avoid calling the timer to read the timer guidelines and just quickly say that the time limit for evaluation is 2 to 3 minutes. And the timer will display the green card at 2 minutes, yellow at 2.5, and the red card at 3 minutes. So let me call upon the first evaluator for the meeting, which is Toastmaster Saurabh Patil.
Thank you, Sandhya. Sorry, I
Saurabh?
cannot put on my video because I'm commuting right now.
That should be all right. Can you just clarify if you can see the timer screen?
Yeah, I can see the timer screen.
Okay, great. Over to you, Toastmaster Saurabh.
Yeah. Suniva, well, you have a very sweet, mesmerizing voice that I want to tell you first of all. And what a title, Pani Puri. You know, the moment I saw your title, I was already mouth-watering. And the moment you started describing about it, I started growing hungry. The way you described all the Pani Puris, their taste from different cities of India was amazing. How you enjoyed it on your palate was also mesmerizing. And especially the analogy of Pani Puri with real life traits, resilience, compassion, adaptability. One could even, I'm a Pani Puri fan, I could never relate, I could never, connect this. But you did a beautiful job of connecting these traits of Pani Puri with us humans and life characters and everything. I hardly could find something to, tell you for improvisation. But yes, I have 1 or 2 points which can help you, or maybe I think you would need to improvise your speech next time. You could use a bit of tonality in your speech, where when you were expressing about the spiciness of the pani puri, it could be in a different tone, like it was very spicy, and the moment it touched my tongue, something like that. So tonality actually brings more impact on your speech, and the audience here are able to connect in a more deeper level. More hand gestures, and I think there was some shadow, so a better light would have been a bit of more light would have been better. That's just a suggestion. Otherwise, your speech was very good. The analogy connecting Pani Puri, the real life traits were really amazing. And especially when you said the joy is in simplest things, was truly a right message for the audience. That's all from my side. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Saurabh. I would now like to call upon the second evaluator for the evening, Toastmaster Manoj, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Nidhi's speech. Toastmaster Manoj, please confirm if you can see the timer screen.
Yes, I can see.
Great. Over to you, Toastmaster Manoj.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. Now coming on to the speech of Nidhi. you did create ripples this evening by throwing those little stones and evoking those emotions of our mentors. So it was based on mentoring program, and your craftsmanship was quite evident the way you began explaining how the ripples are created when somebody throws a stone at a pond. Then you started talking about the bigger event, how it is related to mentoring and comparing those mentors with bigger stones. And then your language was profound, it was apt, appropriate, and it took your speech, your content to a higher level kind of language you're using. Then you did use your gestures, animated facial expressions. So these were the plus points in your speech. Now, where I found that the ripple effect was little less was the eye contact. Somehow you are looking at the screen, but you never looked at me. So that eye contact I was missing. I felt that Nidhi is not talking to me, he's speaking to the screen. Next, you did have a lot of personal anecdotes weaved throughout your speech. It made the content richer. But only thing, the pace at which you spoke, I found it to be too very fast. I couldn't connect. Just going one after another, one after another. Those transitions were not there. So to connect, I need to have that natural flow in your voice. That I was missing. Next, though I praised your craftsmanship, the conclusion was too abrupt. You had time. The yellow screen came up and you abruptly ended it. For example, while concluding, we generally follow that method of Ouroboros, that snake catching its own tail. So the way you begin, you need to again end that way. For example, you could have said, don't you think our mentors make a difference in whatever we are? And they have created those refill effects. They are those big stones. They made a difference in my life. What about you all? I think a kind of impactful ending would add value to your content. Bring in variety in your gestures. Gestures are wonderful, but they're a bit monotonous. You need to bring in more variety to your gestures and bring natural flow. Once the natural flow comes, automatically it's going to resonate with the audience. Or else I was finding it to be a bit too mechanical. Or else this is the speech that ended your path, and you did a wonderful job with the language you used and the impact and the ripple you left. Thank you. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Manoj. I'm going to move slightly away from the agenda now and call upon the evaluator for the table topics master. So I would like to add here that the table topics master also was doing one of her projects, which was on active listening, where she had to conduct the table topic session and show us that she was actively listening to all the speakers and responding. And we have Toastmaster Kalpana here, who will be evaluating this project that Toastmaster Rushali performed. Because Toastmaster Kalpana has to leave, we will call in her now, and then we will go to the evaluators of the other two speakers. Toastmaster Kalpana, can you confirm if you can see the timer screen? I can see the agenda on
No,
the
I
screen.
can see the agenda actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Timer, Ashish, are we ready with the timer screen?
Yeah, what is the time limit?
The time limit is the same, 2 to 3 minutes.
Sure, thank you.
Okay. All right, over to you, Toastmaster Kalpana.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator, and good evening to everyone, especially to my table topic master, Rushali Desai today. We know that communication is a two-way skills and listening is actually a sign, if I say, of an expert or listen at least as much as you talk. Today, I found that as you began your table topic round, the first appreciative thing was you ensured that your topics were really aligned with the theme of the day. That was wonderful. Next, when I come down to you wanting to call out the audience, initially you hesitated a bit. You did need a push so that you start calling people out. But yes, somewhere or the other, slowly and steadily, that part was covered up. Let me tell you about your body language. Though you were looking at the camera, you had complete eye contact. What you missed out was a dynamic voice assertiveness so that you can reach out, pull the audience virtually with their caller to come and participate. Those are the things that are not actually evaluated as listening skills of yours. I'm now coming down to listening skills. And I would like to tell you over here that when Toastmaster Manoj spoke, he spoke about the spice of life for relaxation. I liked it. I like the fact that you noticed, and you did mention that. But he also said various other things in his speech. You could have just made a summary of, yes, I want those ingredients. I want those spices to relax. And I'm sure each and every one of you, the audience, you should even have included the audience to project your skills. Bhuvi, yes. While you concluded, you just said planning and research, whereas she had said planning and self-awareness. All right. Anirudh, of course, he spoke very well. And if you had summarized or, probably listened, you would have realized that he gave us an idea. And that idea was that if you simplify a speech, I'm just introducing myself. It's not a speech that I'm giving, correct? So that was the crux of his table topic speech that he gave. So when you're listening for the message that has been passed on by the speaker, listen to the various styles, tone, and pitch, and accordingly make or give them the feedback as to how it relates with you. And yes, grab the audience along with your observation so that audience also feels that they're a part of it. Courage, do not be nervous, walk in with a purpose, and be a wonderful table topic master. Over to you, gentle evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Kalpana, for that very insightful evaluation. We now move on to the next evaluation, which is to be evaluated by Toastmaster Riddhi, and she will be evaluating Toastmaster Bhuvi's speech. Toastmaster Riddhi, hi, can you confirm if you can see the timer screen?
Yes, I can see.
Okay, great. Over to you, Toastmaster Riddhi.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Toastmaster Sandhya. Toastmaster Bhuvi, what an informative speech with a perfect way of engaging audience and asking questions and also acknowledging the answers. The questions, the topic that you selected was totally in interest of the audience. The language you used was easy to understand and also her voice was loud and clear. It also seemed that she has done a bit of research on her topic, as she mentioned facts and figures also, which shows how interest she took in the topic that she is going to deliver. The message that I take from her speech is we should all take some measures to save environment, and examples were already shared by the speaker, like swapping clothes, using Uber instead of, walking instead of using Uber. Now, coming to the recommendation part, I would like to share you two recommendations today. First, when you were delivering your speeches, it seemed like you were reading from something, where you missed the eye contact with the audience. It's okay when you are reading some facts or figures, we can't remember numbers. It's okay to use some cards, but keep it in such a way that you don't lose that audience connect. The another thing that I would like to mention is the conclusion of your speech. I felt that you concluded your speech very abruptly, seeing that red card, timer card flashing on the screen. Because as it is said that what you say last goes last forever with the audience. So it is that impact when you give in the concluding message. So that will be lasting for the audience every time. To conclude with my evaluation speech, I would like to say that you had a great confidence and clarity in your voice. Just with this two improvement of your delivery style and the conclusion of your speech, you would fly high and come out with the rainbow colors. Thank you, and over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Riddhi. I would now like to again call upon Toastmaster Saurabh, who will be evaluating the speech of Toastmaster Cynthia as well. Toastmaster Saurabh, are you there?
Yes, right. I can
Okay.
see the time screen as well.
Okay, great. Over to you, Toastmaster Saurabh.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Cynthia, I like the quote that you started with, Vasundeva Kutumbakam. It really, relates to everything that we have in a society, the way we bond. You actually took me back to my childhood where I was living in a society where we used to celebrate everything together, from smaller birthdays to big festivals, the way we used to connect of our lunches, dinners. It was amazing. The great bond that you share, even on the same floor. Though highlighting those kind of relationships, bonds you build with strangers when you start living with them in the same vicinity is truly amazing. And let me tell you, those bonds are really strong and long lasting. One thing which I thought you could use in your speech next time, or maybe in this speech, was your own example, that whom did you bond with, one or two people around, how did you bond as a person, and what was the speciality. So did this, using your own example, could have added more impact on the speech. Apart from that, it was a wonderful speech. The pace you were at was really great, not very fast, not very slow. We could really relate to each and everything. And yes, there is always a security guard who comes to your help in every society for each and everything you need. And the sad part, even I experienced when we moved to a new society, is there is hardly anyone to bond around the way we used to in the older ones. But overall, great speech. The bond is definitely important, and you did a great job. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saurabh. And with that, we finish the evaluations for all the prepared speeches and the table topics. I would now like to call upon our timer, Toastmaster Ashish, to tell us if there were any disqualifications on the basis of time among the evaluators. There were no
Yeah,
disqualifications.
on the basis of time, everyone is qualified. Everyone is qualified.
Thank you very much. Zoom Master, if the poll is ready for the speakers and the evaluators, then we can probably release them now. In the meantime, I would like to call upon the grammarian to give his report.
Am I audible?
Yes, Toastmaster Kasim, you are.
Really, being here as a grammarian in your club has made my evening. What speakers you have. Every other person is better than the other. I had a wonderful experience. In fact, I learned. In fact, I would say I held myself by my ears and I made myself attentively listen. So interesting were each and every speaker over here. Now, of all the speakers, some of them were very good at speechcraft with the perspective of decorating their speeches. So I've been able to make note of such good language, phrases, and words used by these speakers. The good words were hardwired, enigmatic, elixir of spice and coriander, spicy challenges that wells up the eyes, symphony of flavors, insane amount of research. Then there are phrases which were good, but they could have been proper and better. So I have explained how they could have been better or proper. One speaker said, I gave it my all. The proper usage of this phrase would be, I did my best. I didn't learn the lesson at that point of time. The proper usage would be, I didn't learn the lesson then. I shall alert the speaker when it is over. The right phrase would be, I shall alert the speaker when they have finished speaking. Then one speaker said, mundanities of life. I'm afraid there is no such word as mundanities. The right expression would be life's mundane situations. Overall, all the speakers were par excellence. And the word of the day was used by Toastmaster Manoj once. The word of the day and the idiom was used by Toastmaster Cynthia. The word of the day and idiom was used by Toastmaster Bhuvi. That ends my report as a grammarian. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Okay. Thank you very much,
General
Toastmaster Kasim. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Kasim, for that detailed report. I would now like to call upon the R counter, Toastmaster Sai, and request him to be as brief as possible with the report.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read out the most egregious offenders when it comes to the R counters report. And topping that list is the general evaluator, because Sandhya used her crutch sound was and she used a lot of it, more than 5 times. The other person in that list is Kashif and Bhuvi. Bhuvi also used the word basically more than 5 times, 3 times, and the word is was her crutch again. Kasim, your crutch is the crutch word that you use a lot is and. You string together sentences into these massive piles of spaghetti, like Maggie. This all sentences talking to each other and connected with each other with the word and. You might do well to break up your sentences. Manoj, you made an error that I found very interesting. You said Kashif is the TMOD of the day, and you said that twice because the TMOD itself stands for Toastmaster of the day. So basically, you were saying Kashif is the Toastmaster of the day, and you said that twice. So just keep that in mind that some abbreviations have an expansion, and you should not repeat yourself. Other than that, I have nothing more to report. Back to you, General Evaluator, if I can find you on screen.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sai. I will be very mindful of the use of us. And for that, one easy way is to keep the evaluation, the general evaluation, very, very brief. And also because we are, of course, running out of time. So I'm going to focus very little bit on the things that we did well and focus more time on things that we could improve. Things that we did well, as usual, we started the meeting on time. It was lovely to have Toastmaster Cynthia as the Sergeant at Arms. Then we moved on to the presiding officer who gave a very good message of finding one's passion. And then, of course, we had the Toastmaster of the Day introducing a very interesting theme. And we had 4 terrific speakers. And I can't tell you, ladies, how much I loved each of those speeches. Like someone already mentioned, I think it was Toastmaster Kasim, that the speeches really were impeccable today. And I'm sure all of you have burnt the midnight oil to prepare those speeches. Then we came on to the table topics session. Toastmaster Rushali did a wonderful job of it, and she has already been evaluated by Toastmaster Kalpana, so I won't spend a lot of time on that. The evaluators also did a great job, but now where can we improve? Before that, the tag team, of course, the main support of the meeting. Timer, Ashish, oh my God, you were so proactive. I loved that you were so proactive, always checking what is the time limit if that was missed by anyone, making sure that the timer screen was visible. I loved how you played your role and took ownership of it. Toastmaster Kasim, very detailed report. Thank you for that. And Toastmaster Sai, I love the metaphors that you used while giving your report, and thank you for being very brief. Now, what can we do better as a club? Firstly, I think the Sergeant at Arms, straight away when she is introducing, can request people to rename themselves so that there is enough time for everyone to rename themselves. Secondly, please do announce that the meeting is being recorded, because ideally we should start the recording of the meeting from the beginning itself and not after the presiding officer's address. I think tonight we started recording it a little later. So just be a little aware of that. Toastmaster of the Day, lovely work. I loved the way you presented your theme, but you could have done a few things better. One, be a little mindful of the time. I know we had a lot of items on the agenda today, but you know what the agenda is. So take a look at it and then accordingly plan your role. Secondly, please make sure to ask the speakers if they can see the timer's screen. This applies also for the table topics master. It's important that the speakers know that where the timer screen is and they are aware of how they are doing on the basis of time. Other than that, what do I have? For the speakers in general, I would say, like I already said, they were all impeccable speeches. But one recommendation that I would give all speakers in general is please do stand up and speak. It makes a very good impact. I think Toastmaster Anirudh stood up and spoke, and that had a great impact. So prepared speeches, please stand up and speak. We can see your hand gestures, then we can see your body language. If you're sitting and speaking, like some of the evaluators mentioned, it does look like you are not looking into the eye of the audience and you're reading out from the screen. So please don't do that. That is one recommendation for all the speakers. The evaluations were quite good. I don't have a lot to comment on that. So on that note, I think I have covered most of the points. If I've missed something, I will share it individually with the role players. So over to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Kashif.
Kashif, you're on mute.
On mute, Kashif.
Thank you, General Evaluator, for that wonderful evaluation. And while I can go on and on about relaxation, but I think we are running out of time. So without any further ado, I will pass it back to Mr. President Sai.
Thank you very much. And without further ado, I will announce the results of the voting so that people can be satisfied with the results. Let's start with the best auxiliary. Let me do it again. Let's start with the best auxiliary role player of the evening. And that person was our timer, Ashish. Congratulations, Ashish. The room loved the work you did. And this general evaluator mentioned it as well. You were wonderful as a timer. Congratulations. The best primary role player, this is a little easier to say. The primary role player for the evening was the man who plans to be relaxed, doesn't care about the results. But Kashif was voted as the best primary role player for the evening. The best evaluator for the evening was the person who evaluated the table topic speaker. That was Kalpana, who was voted as the best evaluator for the evening. And she's not here to enjoy the results, but she is the person that we chose. The best table topic speaker was Anirudh, who stood up and stood out as a table topic speaker. Finally, our best speaker for the evening was a person who paid respects to her mother, her friend, her cousin, so many people in her life who caused ripples in her life. So Nidhi, congratulations on being voted as the best speaker for the evening. And now is a good time for me to spotlight Nidhi, if she's still available. Is she still in the room? Let me look for Nidhi. And let us all put our hands together for Nidhi, because she's completed level 2. And with that, she's given us a DCP point, I believe. So congratulations, Nidhi, on the work you did.
Thank you, everyone.
And any feedback on the evaluation you got from Manoj? Did you feel that his points were valid?
Yeah, those points were actually valid, and I might sound mechanic sometimes when I am performing any speeches, so I will take care of that and being more interactive with the on-site camera rather than screen.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much. All right, with that, I'm going to call this meeting to a close. Thank you everyone for coming. And we have a little bit of time to ask our guests, people who've come to a meeting for the first time after a long time. For example, Qasim, I believe this is the first time you're coming to a BKC Fireflies meeting.
Yes.
If you could share a few suggestions on what we can do better, that would be really nice.
Instead of suggesting you, I'm not that sharp listener, so I will not be able to give you suggestions. But what I appreciate is that the level of quality of your meeting is superb. All the speakers have great command over the language. And the way all the speakers have structured the architecture of all the speeches, even if it was any other role player, I think you people should lend yourself to other clubs, visit more clubs, and help them to grow. The entire team has so valuable ingredients in you. I must say it is stuffed. It is stuffed so hard, there is no further place to stuff.
Thank you so much for all these kind words.
Now to give recommendations and suggestions, I would say I will keep my mouth shut.
I'm just floored that you said so many nice things. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And now I'm going to quickly jump to Rushali, if she is in a position to talk to us right now and tell us
Yeah.
if feedback.
I totally agree with Toastmaster Qasim. I have no feedback to share. I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed the meeting, and I was mind blown by the speeches, the role players, and especially the theme, how we connected destiny to relaxation towards the end. I was mind blown by that. So I thoroughly enjoyed, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much for being such an active participant in our meeting as well.
Thank you.
Aniruddha, I know you spoke already, but I just wanted to get maybe a couple of thoughts from you before we wind up.
We also have Ashish, sorry, the timer.
Ashish, of course. Yeah, I'm going to check with Ashish after this.
Yeah, so like I said, this is my second visit, and I think, like Qasim pointed out, the quality of meetings, I think DTMs and BKCFF attracts guests from all over Mumbai and elsewhere as well. So people actually want to be. This is one of the few online clubs that people actually want to attend, and I've really heard good stuff from people from the community. So keep up the good work. And I think I mean, I don't have any feedback. It's just amazing how I think I was seeing those prompts running late by so and so minutes, running late by, but you still managed to cover up in the entire time. So that's amazing. Amazing. So keep up on that.
Thank you, Aniruddha. Ashish, I know I missed you in the beginning and Sandhya had to remind me, but thank you for attending our meeting. And any suggestions, anything that we can do better?
I don't have any suggestions, but I would like to thank you, Toastmaster Sai, because you helped me initially for performing the role of timer, because all those things were new for me. Because in Mulund Toastmasters Club, we have cards, we show cards like red, yellow, and this thing was new for me. So thanks for that.
Great. I'm glad you got some extra insights into using this online tools. Riddhi, you've come back. If you're still there, let me check if Riddhi is still there. I think Riddhi might have left. Cyril, we didn't get to hear from you, so while the meeting is ended, I'm going to put you on the spotlight, if you're available, of course. I'm going to put you on the spotlight and make you speak to us for 1 minute on, let me see. I'm going to pick my kids. I don't know if you can see this, but it's actually a kid's book in my hand. It's called Little Land Stories for Children. Cyril, are you there? Oh, going on, going once, going twice.
I'm there. I'm there, and I've got dinner in my mouth. But yes,
All
go
right,
on, Sai.
I'm going to give you a.
What devilry are you going to throw at me?
I'm going to give you a challenging a character name, and you have to build up a story around this character. Okay, the character name is Sammy Snake, and your job is to tell us a story about a snake called Sammy and something he does with food. Does he play with his food? Something like that. And 1 minute is all you get because you haven't gotten a chance to speak, and we are Toastmasters Club. You should be able to speak.
Once upon a time, there was a snake, and his name was Sammy. Now, Sammy loved to eat, and he loved to drink. All right. Now, what he likes to drink, I can't tell to kids because, it's PG advisory. So let's say that he liked to drink juice of a certain color, orangish brown color. Now, Sammy loved to eat so much that one day he started eating everyone around him. The entire village, he just ate. He was in a village, by the way. Yeah. And when you walk through village roads, you have to be very, very careful if you meet Sammy. Now, everyone in the neighboring village, they hated Sammy because he had such a big appetite. He ate an entire village. So Sammy ran away from, crawled away from that village. He went to the next village and he finished that village also. And the village after that, and the village after that, and the village after that. Now Sammy was getting a rather unsavory reputation. So Sammy escaped the city, renamed himself as Sai, shortened his name, and started attending Toastmasters meetings. True story. Back to you, Sai.
Did you look at my gut and come up with that story? Because it's burgeoning right now. So thank you very much for making this small while becoming this big. Thank you very much, Cyril. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. And a Toastmasters Club meeting is not complete if not everybody in the meeting has spoken. So let's go. I think we're good with the meeting. Rushali has spoken. Ashish has spoken. Suniva has spoken. She gave a prepared speech. I think we're good to go. I think, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being part of meeting number 131. Meeting number 132 will start right after Valentine's Day. So if you love your spouse or your partner, enjoy with them on the 14th. Oh, Qasim, sorry. Let me get you involved.
Yes, I would like to come back to your meetings again. Please.
Happily. I'll make sure we share.
Yes, definitely. +1.
I'll share the information with you. Thank you so much for being so kind to us. I don't know if we deserve it, but happy to have it. Thank you. So our next meeting is on the 15th of February. And funnily enough, this month, the month of February, the shortest month of the year, has 5 Thursdays. The 1st, 15th, and the 29th are the 1st, 3rd, and 5th Thursdays of the month. So we'll have 3 meetings in February. Though this is a short month, we have 3 meetings in Toastmasters in February. And the meetings are on the 1st, 3rd, and 1st, 15th, and 29th. Please do come and join us then. Other than that, I think this meeting we can stop recording now, and